That's yours. That's mine. This is both of us.
Wait a minute. That's mine?
Yep.
That's
both of us.
And that's yours.
Me. Yep.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, you guys ready, gentlemen? All right. Here we go. You are now watching Outside the Box, the portable podcast that goes directly to the source, to the world's foremost masters of their craft in all arenas. I'm your host, Okwerdz. And you know what, man? Today we're in the depths of Southern California. And you know, I'm just going to come right out and say it, man. We're at fucking Tom Arnold's house right now, man.
Yeah.
I told you we weren't playing with the podcast this year. It's going down, man. But before we get to the legendary guests, I got a couple quick announcements really quick, man. All the episodes of Drop the Mic that I did for this season are out now on TBS that I helped out on. You could check them out on the TNT app. That also encores on TBS. We did some brilliant stuff with the Lost Cast and whatnot. You could check that out. My favorite non-American battle rapper, Oshea from Liverpool, just dropped his album called Google It with 3 O's. I'm featured on a song, and that thing featured at number, I believe, number 7 or number 8 on the iTunes charts in the UK. So go support that, man. We're going to need your help on that. Method Man music videos coming up. I'm still working 4 days on the radio a week at K-Win, man. It's been a busy schedule. But you know what? Forget my pathetic little life right now, man. We're going to get to what we came here for. We're going to get to the real meat of the business here, man. I want to introduce to the show one of my absolute favorite actors, man. A stand-up comedian, writer. He's a star of the Trump tapes on Vice.
What?
Instead of a round of applause at home, I just want you to lie to your wife about being a secret agent and give it up for the man himself, Mr. Tom Arnold, man.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing,
what an
man?
honor it is to have you here.
Hey, thank you so much for having us.
You know,
man.
Method Man was in his soul plate with me, too.
Yeah, no, we're going to get to that.
Yeah, okay, man. It's an honor that you're here. You haven't aged since I saw a video of you in 2010. You're out here in the backseat of the car. Look at you. I'm very honored that you guys are here in the house. Man. You know, there's a group called Outside the Box that comes and plays with your kids, too.
Oh, really?
It's a lady, and they bring all these fun toys. Huh. And it's just like you guys. I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old.
There you go.
So I'm honored. I'm a huge fan of yours. I'm a huge fan of the show.
Appreciate you,
I love the
man.
way your style. I love the people you have on the show. I didn't think you'd actually come through and come over to the house.
Oh no, we're going everywhere, man. We go to everybody's spot, man. I'm honored to be here, man. This is really cool. This is a really cool moment for me, man. You know, we really do appreciate that, man. So, you know, this is the living room. This is where we get it in, man.
It is. Yeah.
And we're gonna be today going on a journey through your life and career.
Whoa!
But before we do that, just let the people at home know, like, what your most recent projects have been. What you've been up to most recently.
Well, literally, I'm releasing tape from Michael Cohen, who's in prison. Everybody thinks the media about the president and you know, Jerry Falwell Jr. You know, and the pool boy. I'm doing. You know what I'm doing? You know, I have kids. And I take them to school every day. And you know, as a citizen, I just say, what can I do for my country? We have the First Amendment, which is why you get to do what you do, and I get to. What a great country, America, for real.
Yes.
You know, where a guy like Tom Arnold, who met Donald Trump 30 years ago and knows him, and he used to come on my sports show. And we were sort of friends. We went to the Playboy Mansion together, and I used to say, and I wasn't the creepy guy, except I was, because I went with him to visit his girlfriend knowing he was married. So I was a creepy guy. I wasn't the creepiest. No judgment. But then, you know, then he becomes president, and then it's not, certain things are not okay. And I'm like, I'm going to speak up, because in America, Tom Arnold can speak up because we have such a great country, and our Constitution allows for that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just speaking up because that's what we do. You get to do what you do. You can say what you want on here, on TBS, on TNT. These guys can do what they want to do, and I'm just exercising my rights. I love, I'm also a dad. I'm an old dad. So my kids go to school. What's the best thing I can do is, get involved in what's going on once in a while, make some tapes and release them and get politically active. I'm not a political person, by the way. That's not what I do. But in this case, when you know people involved,
kind of just happened.
You just get involved a little bit, and especially when they push back at you. You say, well, I'm going to push back a little bit too.
Yeah.
So, but I love, I love what you do, and I love this
I
too.
appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, man. I seen you were also on a...
I got a movie called Fighting Flora about an elephant coming out.
Is that what you were filming before this?
No, before this, I was filming a movie called High Holiday with, this is Cloris Leachman. Played my mother-in-law. She's 93 last week. Cloris Leachman is a legend.
I've seen
so I have the opportunity to work with her. Jennifer Tilly's my wife. There's all these great actors in it. And, I do NCIS New Orleans. I do a reoccurring there, and I do this other stuff. But Finding Flora, Jenna Ortega is in it. She's one of the Disney stars. She's wonderful. It's about this elephant that gets they wanted to put down and from the circus, and then these kids rally and save this. It's a real elephant. They save the elephant's life. I play a big game hunter who's going to try to take it down, and it's a very sweet story, and it opens June 14th. David Arquette in it. Hey, he's a wrestler. Let me tell you, I love David Arquette.
You see, we had him on the show.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's for real. He's a really good guy.
He's a great guy, man.
He's a good guy too.
Great guy.
Did I just say that? I love him.
Yeah,
so,
I love David myself, man.
He's got kids too.
He's a great guy.
He's a super good guy. And he's a real deal on the wrestling thing,
He
too.
is. He's been traveling doing his thing
and
right
getting
now.
his ass kicked.
Yeah, but he
for
got
real.
in super shape, dude.
Yeah, he did.
He got ripped.
Yeah.
He got super ripped,
Why?
man.
Who cares about that? Anyway. No, I love. But anyway, so it's fun. Anyway, go ahead.
That's awesome, man. Well, we already touched on it a little bit, but we know last year you had your series, The Trump Tapes, on Vice, man.
I did.
I love that, man. I'm
It was fun.
I'm an anti-Trump guy as any self-respecting human being
Oh my God,
should be.
he's the worst.
You know
he's
what I mean?
such a lying sack of crap. I mean, it's no, literally lie every word he says. And I know his kids too, because I know the whole family, and it's ridiculous what they're grifting, and they're taking money from our kids, and they keep lying, and their instincts are the worst. And what they do to what they think about people of color, and they just it's awful, and you can see it happening, and you got to speak up. And if I've got a tape of his buddy with a pool boy and the wife and we're going to do something about it. So,
I mean, for those people that may have not seen it, give us a breakdown real briefly, like what the show.
The show is about.
Is.
There's all these alleged tapes of Donald Trump. The PB tape, the tape of him roughing up Melania, the Apprentice outtakes, which are absolutely real. He's talked about walking backstage at the Miss Universe contest, which he owned, and seeing those are of course real. So what I did is each week I use legitimate, respected journalists like Jane Mayer of the New Yorker, and David Korn of Mother Jones, and Michael Liskoff, and we said, well, if these are true, let's figure this out. And I said, I interviewed the Russian hookers that pee up, though for real, like went to Belarus, and I had real journalists do this stuff. Now I'm a goofball. And of course that's true. And people know that I genuinely don't like him because of this stuff. But I had real people really investigate this stuff. And Michael Cohen is a guy that I befriended last summer. I ran into him, and then through our relationship, he shared a bunch of stuff with me before he went to prison. And he's got a lot of information on this guy I'm continuing to share that. And people are coming forward. A lot of people that were involved with Trump, Felix Sater, and all these people, and they happen to be sharing it with me, and I'm disseminating that. And we're looking for. My show is about the quest and if these things exist, but it's really about, and along the way you just find so many lies and so many people that are like, I'm going to back this guy, even though I know he's terrible because he's making me money. But you're hurting America, you're hurting people, you're hurting children, you're hurting people of color, and you're white nationalist, you're anti-Semitic, but it's not okay.
It sure fuck is not okay, man. Man, that's crazy.
I mean, the Secret Service were in this room.
Yeah.
They were here because I said I would wrestle him. I said he was on stage in Montana, and, he's like, I'd love to body slam, because there's a congressman that body slammed a little reporter, a guy about this big, and he got arrested for it or something. And he goes, you know what, Greg Gianconte, or, Giangante, he body slammed somebody. I love to body slam somebody. He trumps up at one of his rallies, and I tweeted, well, I will body slam you. I will go there to one of your events, because I'm from Iowa, and we wrestle. Like, it's a wrestle thing. And maybe he can body slam me. I don't think he can.
I don't think so.
But I said, I will go there to your event. I'll get on stage. If you body slam me first, you win. Otherwise, if I body slam you first, like a fair rules, like we'll do it for real. And then the Secret Service show up here for an hour.
How did that go?
It was great. It was so funny. I mean, I'll show you the whole
tape.
Like,
what is their thing? They're just like, hey, did you say you're going to wrestle him?
Oh,
like,
my God.
What is the details?
First of all, they're so embarrassed to be here. They're like, you can't believe this, but we have to talk to you about saying you body slam Trump. They're so embarrassed. They're like, we've talked to him about 20 times about inciting violence by at his rallies, and he won't listen to them because he's literally, the day they were here was the day before they caught the pipe bomber. They were on their way to Florida to get him. It was 2 days before the synagogue shooting in Pittsburgh, because I left here to go to Pennsylvania. So we're all aware of what Trump does. And his dog whistles and his, I'm Jewish, his anti-Semitism, his gun nonsense. So they're aware of it. And these guys are, they're the first line. They're the first people that are going to get hurt are the Secret Service agents.
Yeah.
So they're sat here and they go, okay, I got to ask you this question. Now, if you're back in Iowa and you run into Donald Trump, are you going to throw down on him? I go, what the fuck?
He's the president.
I said, I'm not going to back down from him if he wants to fucking fight, but I'm not going to run in. He's the president. Doesn't he have Secret Service? How do I just run into him?
Yeah. No.
And then, they're like, well, and then Kathy Griffin had done this thing, and they're like, and I made somebody was dogging me on Twitter, and I go, well, next time maybe she won't have a fake head. That's all I said. I didn't say his head. I didn't say, and they're like, okay, so let's say you're in line after a Donald Trump rally and you're shaking hands and he walks by. Would you cut off his head? I go, oh my God, that's a horrible. First of all, I worked at the kill floor of a meatpacking plant for 3 years. That's you can't just, first of all, you got to have your equipment to do something.
That's complicated.
You got to have two dudes.
That's a lot.
You got to get him upside down. You got to chain on his ankle. And then you got to have a bone saw. Then I looked at their faces and they're like, oh my God, this guy knows how to do it. Because, 6,000 hogs a day at the Hormel meatpacking plant, we slaughtered.
Yeah.
And so as I was explaining that to those guys, I'm like, oh, yeah, they're going to arrest me.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. Hey, Secret Service, don't come to my house, man.
No, they're very nice guys. And they stayed and they walked around here to make sure that I was secure here, too. Because, I get a lot of threats coming this way.
Yeah.
But I am. And there's a lot of great people that work in the Secret Service, that work in the FBI, that work in law enforcement, that look out, that do not work for Donald Trump. They work for us. And these guys, Donald Trump comes in and says, oh, I'm in charge of the people in immigration as you come back into the country. He's not. There's people that care. There's people that are open-minded, that are liberal, that are suddenly like, what are we going to do? There are institutions in this country that he's trying to mess up, but he can't because there's 10,000 people working there. He doesn't understand what it's like to be a working man, working woman that goes every day of the week and just works. And that's what America really is those working people, the people that work at the meatpacking plants, the people that work at the FBI, the everyday people that work every day of the week, not the people like, I got to hit the lottery. That's a working, I got to win that's not what people do. They don't hit the fucking lottery.
Yeah.
They go to work and that feels good. And that's what America's about. That's what built this country. And he's trying to destroy that.
Yeah, man. I seen you going after the Apprentice guys, too. You're out there.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think they got?
Well, first of all, they got Mark Burnett sucker choked.
Yeah,
so that's a fucking idiot. I did rip off his gold Jesus chain and pink shirt.
Good.
They have everything. They have MGM television, MGM movies. They have a vault with all of the film and tape of their television and movie products. Every studio does. So when they resyndicate, which they just resyndicated The Apprentice, all 15 years, they have to go in there to the masters and then download it. Now, the outtakes of The Apprentice have never even been edited. It's all in a place in Hutchinson, Kansas. It's at 2 locations. It's stored on something called LTO, linear tape open. It's a digital. It's a way it's stored digitally. The people that run the Mark Burnett has nothing to do with it now. He sold his company. They brought in somebody to supervise him after we had our fight. They aren't even aware that they had this stuff and where it is. So when they went digital, the cameras have a chip in them, sort of a master chip that runs the whole time. They have 18 cameras at Trump Tower. They had to film Donald Trump from the moment he got out of his car till the moment he got back in his car, because one of the things is the way the show is set up. It's a game show, The Apprentice, because and game shows, because there was a game show scandal in the 50s in the United States. They called the $54,000 question or something, because it was fixed. The host of every show has to be filmed the whole time, so they can tell the producers are not giving him the answers or telling him who to pick. So they had to film Donald Trump the whole time. The companies admitted this.
So many opportunities.
That's never been edited. So they don't know what all's on there. There's 6,000 hours of film, and I know exactly where it is. So what's going to happen sooner than later is we're going to get that, and then I'm going to get a bunch of my editors to see it.
Greatest hits.
So but I also know what's on some of it, because I have seen it. I've seen him make his sons cry. I've seen him make Don Jr. cry because he didn't like his yellow tie. He pits his sons against each other. They're ignorant. Ivanka Trump is ignorant. I do have a tape of inside Trump Tower, and between setups on The Apprentice, he has business meetings, and it's guys coming into his office. Same thing happens over and over. Ivanka comes in with the same stack of papers, says the same thing to him, sets him on his desk. He says the same thing. She walks out. There's nothing even on the papers. It's bullshit. They're ignorant. And that's another thing. He's incompetent. And that's what's happening in the White House right now. So sooner than later, everybody will have access to see in HD a 12-hour day of what is going on inside the White House right now.
Oh my God, dude! And it was the guy would tell you he's the producer, the old producer.
Well, yeah, Mark Burnett his pride is he's Donald Trump's soulmate. He says he discovered him.
Wow!
And it's his proudest thing.
What a terrible title!
He sits beside him right now at the prayer breakfast. He says he's a born again Christian. That's bullshit.
Right? Yeah.
That's the guy that sucker choked me.
Definitely.
He has a Shark Tank. He has The Voice. He has 6 shows. He's probably the most powerful producer there is, but he's never came out and said, I disagree with him about, let's say, caging children. Or Mark Burnett is an immigrant. By the way, Mark Burnett came to this country without a green card. He overstayed his student visa and worked for money under the table himself. He forged his immigration papers. He is the illegal immigrant.
Now he's working with Trump.
He should go back to the UK right now for real and get in line. That's who Mark Burnett is. And he's made $600 million from this. He's made $200 million with Donald Trump. Donald Trump still makes money. He made money last week when they re-syndicated this show together. Mark Burnett tells people, I am the most powerful man in show business. The president of the United States is my best friend. I just asked Mark Burnett, who I've known personally, because they both called my house. Trump, this house right here. Donald Trump and Mark Burnett called me every year to ask me to do the Celebrity Apprentice. I never did it because I have that much of a soul. It never made sense. Why do the Celebrity Apprentice when you're a celebrity, and then the win is to work for fucking Donald Trump, who is who's not a good businessman, or he wouldn't be doing the fucking Celebrity Apprentice. If he was successful, you don't do a fucking reality show.
I hate that excuse too.
No, for real.
He's a businessman. He runs it like a business. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
What business?
And
what
by the
business?
way, my friend is the executive producer of that show, The Apprentice. He was, for the last 10 years, he was the last person to talk to Donald Trump before every take. He says Donald Trump only remembered the last 20 seconds of anything he ever said to him, which is, hey, listen, that is Brandy Glanville over there. That's, Vince Neil over here. And you're going to fire, okay, that person. He also said he's the worst human being he's ever met in his life. He said that out loud to defend me in front of Mark Burnett and a bunch of other people at Arnold Schwarzenegger's 2016 Christmas party when I got in a huge fight with those guys about getting the rest of the tapes to me. And Mark Burnett said, well, there's nothing worse than grab her by the pussy, Tom. And Trump wants the tapes and you want them. So let's just see if Trump turns it around when he gets in office. I think he's going to be good. And he wasn't. So these guys, people know they've been helping since then to give me the technical details of where these things are. Mm-hmm. So, if I have to go get the Best Western down there in Hudson, Kansas, because they have the junior college national championship every year, and my junior college, Indian Hills Community College, has won it a bunch of years, so we know we're already set up down there.
That's good.
If I have to do it myself, otherwise I'd say, what happened with the National Choir was 2 weeks ago, the company that owned it had to sell it because they lost so many lawsuits because of Donald Trump. So the National Choir, they had to sell it off. And that's what's going to have to happen with The Apprentice. It's going to become so toxic that the guy that owns the MGM, this guy that bought MGM, this money guy, he's like, Kevin, he's like, I want to own MGM. And then all of a sudden we're going to say, you better show America what's on those tapes. You're hiding that. That is historical. And there's going to be an election. Donald Trump sexually harasses people. Mm-hmm. He's racist on there. He looks into the camera. There's a female camera operator. He's like, you're fuckable. You're fuckable. Mark Burnett had to pull him off the set a bunch of times, said, whoa, that's illegal. That's all on there. That's what they're hiding from America, from American voters. And that's why Donald Trump's bringing those dictators into the fucking White House who are anti-Semitic. He better do something, Mark Burnett.
Seriously, man. Hey, you let me know you run into him again, man. I got your back, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
On some Stockton
Honest
shit,
to
man.
God.
Let's go.
He had the guy from who's the Survivor guy, Jeff Probst? He's the one that pulled him away. That's like, what the fuck you?
Are you guys going to have another season of the Trump tape? Seems like there's much more work to do.
The advice people got so nervous about me. They're like, fuck that. But, it's playing in, right now is when I should have it, because I'm literally, because the whole thing about the show is I was going to do what I was doing, whether I'm doing a show or not.
Yeah.
So I'm doing, I'm doing it now. Like, last week and this week I'm releasing parts of tapes to different journalists.
Nice.
Because you also can't play a tape on a regular television show. Like on TBS, the lawyers on a regular weekly show go, oh my God, how'd you get that tape? Oh, has anybody signed off on that tape?
Yeah.
You're like, oh no.
You're getting sued.
But to a real journalist like a David Cord, he was able to play. Who remember when they had the Mitt Romney 47% speech? Like somebody shot it from the side of Mitt Romney talking at a bar, and he's like, 47% of people are takers. And it really might have caught Mitt Romney the 2012 election versus Barack Obama, because somebody shot him saying, people are takers and makers. And David Cord released that. Now, he was able to release the Secret Service tape in here. Anybody else would be like, whoa, did they know they're being recorded, whatever? And so you need a real journalist who's going to go, I'm going to First Amendment this shit. Now, a TV network will go, oh, no.
Yeah.
Especially like Viceland, that shit network. My show should have been on Viceland anyway. Viceland's a fun fucking network.
Yeah, it really is.
2 Chainz, they're like, you and 2 Chainz are getting paid the most on this network. I'm like,
that's fine.
Okay, I love 2 Chainz, but my show is different. Nobody will watch it. I'm honored that I got to do a show and have all these cameras and do what I wanted to do. But it was they got scared. They're like, we want to do shows with Mark Burnett, and you are fucking everything up. I'm like, well, fuck you. But, in my real life, I'm continuing to do all this stuff, and I'm getting better at it. And the more that the Trump people and these other people are like, we're warning you, we're going to shut you down. I mean, it doesn't lend itself to doing a lot of work outside of this paid work, but it just says, well, I got to make sure this guy resigns as soon as possible so we can all get back to our lives.
Yeah,
because he is escalating his stuff, and he's also melting down personally. We do have somebody in the White House who's sharing with us what is going on with him personally, and so he is melting down. He's also got all these bad guys destroying everything about the country. Any woman's right to do anything.
Man.
People of color. The economy, it looks like it's going well. It's going well for very rich people, but it's built on paper stilts. And he's getting us in this weird stuff with China and with Iran, which Iran are bad people, but just thinking that Trump's involved, that he knows nothing. He never read the first Iran deal. He never read the second. He's never read the Bible. He's never read the Constitution. He's never read anything. He genuinely hasn't. That's not okay. And he's a liar.
No, it's not okay.
He lies every time he opens his mouth. And people that are standing next to him right now saying that's okay, fuck them all.
Yeah,
because they're
absolutely.
not. That's not okay. They're selling out our country, and people have died for this country, and every one of them is a traitor now. Vladimir Putin, I lived in Russia in the Ritz-Carlton in 2015, the summer after Trump had the party there. The person that financed that movie had the party for Trump. There's a lot of overlap. I know the people that were with him in Moscow at the Miss Universe contest because they are my friends and they worked on Miss Universe and The Apprentice. So I happen to know what was going on. It's not that I give a shit about him hooking up with prostitutes or models. He would never pay a prostitute. He doesn't call them prostitutes. I don't give a shit what happened. He didn't get pissed on. He said, hey, there's Obama's bed. Piss on it. That's what it is. Like, he fucking hates Obama so much. He hates Obama. His racism, by the way, Michael Cohen makes this, it's that old man racism where he's like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed that, and he's like, oh, I love black people. They're just not smart enough to run a business or our country. It's so embarrassing. I'm going to eliminate everything about Obama because he's a stain on our country. He shouldn't be up there on Mount Rushmore. It's so, hey guys, I'm going to get rid of everything and just erase him.
And pee on his bed.
That's what it is. Black people are great, he says. They can do a lot of cool things, but they just don't have the intellect. I'm going to take care of that. When I'm done, no Obama. And whatever his name's on, he doesn't even read it. That's for real. No. He tells, no, you will hear these tapes. He tells people, this is what I am doing for you, for America. He genuinely fucking means it. It's fucked up.
It's fucking scary,
It's
man.
scary.
It's fucking scary. Where did you meet Donald Trump for the first time? How did you guys meet?
We met in New York, and then we filmed a HBO special at the Trump Taj Mahal, I think, in 1988 or something. There was Roseanne's. And I remember him going, you know what? I got an idea. I got a friend that's got these 8 old cars, and he's got a Dusseldorf, and he'll bring it to the studio or to the stage. For free. He'll haul it up here from New Jersey, and we can put it, and I'll drive it on stage, and I'll be Roseanne's chauffeur, and she'd get out of the car, and I was like, that's a fucking awesome idea. And now you're in the show, Donald Trump. And so I was laughing, and then he said that you see the HBO special. He drives her up. He gets out. You know, he's in it. And then later I got a bill for $45,000 from that guy who'd packed this thing up. He had it on his farm and drove it up there. Trump completely, nothing to do with him. And I laughed about it at the time. And the Warner Brothers and the other people, that's Trump. That's Trump. He just does it, But now, and I also show you a video. The first time he came on a sports show, he sat down and looked around and goes, whoa, what's that? There's 4 15-year-old girls in schoolgirl outfits in the front row, and he barely stops, and he goes,
they're just in the audience.
Look at that, and they have this short, the schoolgirl outfit. Like there's a bunch of dudes behind it, but he goes, no.
Yeah, he got them tendencies for sure, man. I've seen all the allegations that he's had for sexual assault, man.
Well,
it's pretty disgusting, man.
Well, yeah, it's disgusting that there's no, and also on my show I got to spend time looking in those women's eyes, and it's disgusting that Mark Burnett never stood up for one of those women, or Ari Emanuel, who owns the Miss Universe contest. They'll stand up for MBS and take this money. That's the Saudi Arabian guy that murdered the journalist. They'll take that guy's money, but they won't stand up for these women or give them a voice. Not one of them. Yeah. And I tell you, when a woman stands up and says, well, this happened when he came backstage, and their life's fucked up. They have to go back to North Carolina or wherever and go back to their job because they be in Miss North Carolina or USA or whatever. It's not a full-time job. And guys harass them, these Trump guys. And these are nice women who went to college. And the contest is, they have the big, they crown them on a Saturday night, but the whole week before they run around these parties, and it's part of their obligation. They do it for free. And these rich guys, these sponsors, come and look at them.
Oh, my God.
And it's very creepy what Donald Trump does. And they put themselves through that. And then to have to get that shit, to have Sarah Sanders stand at the White House podium and say, you're a liar, and never back it up.
Not even address it.
So part of the reason I did the show was to give them a voice. That's the reason I'm going to keep doing it. And that's the reason I'm going to take Mark Burnett down, because he's a fucking asshole. If he was a Christian, he would give these women a voice. He's not. I believe his wife probably is. She's a liar too. She said I bruised her head. I didn't even see her, and plus it was a 5-day-old bruise. But he's a liar. Mark Burnett is a phony. Whatever show he appears on, that's who he becomes. You look at his history. He knew Vladimir Putin before he knew Donald Trump. He loves Vladimir Putin. He wants to do this Donald Trump thing where you take a right-wing politician and do a show about him and make him. He wants to do that everywhere. He's flown to Syria 3 times during the war to meet people. He did a deal with the King of Jordan. Like, he wants to do despots all over the world, TV shows. I am not shitting you. He's a bad guy. He's a coward. He's a phony. And there's more to come. And if you're supporting him, he's bullshit. He also killed his dog. Okay, here's the best one. My buddy's a dog trainer. This is the worst. My buddy is a dog trainer. He was Mark Burnett. He took his stills on all of his shows. Mark Burnett's doing Echo Challenge. He's up in Vancouver. He says, I want this dog, and this kind of dog I want. The guy traded this dog up. He brought it to him. It was a perfect dog. Mark Burnett's living out in Malibu. The guy, a couple months later, the guy said, I'm going to go out and see Mark and visit him. And these guys were best friends. And he went out there and he said, hey, where's the dog? And Mark Burnett's like, oh, I had to put it down. He goes, oh, my God, what was it, sick? He goes, no, I just wasn't home enough. Mark Burnett killed this fucking dog. I'm not kidding you, because he was too much trouble. He was traveling and whatever.
Wow.
That's how he looks at things.
You know, there's like such thing as adoption.
No fucking soul.
You know what I mean? Petco.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, for real. So it's like this, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. When I show up at The Voice, I'm the music guy. When I show up on Survivor, I'm the island guy. Yeah, that's for real. That's who he has he's a shell. He's like the talented Mr. Ripley. There's no there. When he's with Robin Downey, he's like, oh, I'm a Christian. I'm with her. But he's not. It doesn't mean anything. When he's with Donald Trump, he starts dressing like Donald Trump, like I'm a big businessman. When he's with Putin, he starts speaking fucking Russian probably. I'm not shitting
He puts like orange powder on his face.
He loves Putin. He's written about, I got copies of his journal from before. Don't ask me how I have that. Anyway, he's bad.
That's crazy, man, because before all this president stuff started, man, it seems like on the outside to the general like public that most people didn't really know a whole lot about Donald Trump other than he would be referenced in movies as just like the rich guy. But we never really knew what he was rich about. You know, you would get reference in like, I think in like Mo Money or something. Something like, man, one day you're going to be rich like Donald Trump. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the kind of references that he used to have.
But it was fine too.
Yeah.
It was fine, except now when you take a real legend, you talk about like the Central Park Five. Yeah. Anytime he said to himself, well, I'm going to run for president. When he started moving that way,
once he opened his mouth, that's when it started.
You know, and I think about my relationship with him, and he does this thing where he's like, anytime he came on the Best Damn Sports Show, period, he gets sit down and go, wait, I'm here because of loyalty to Tom Arnold. And then that gives you a little chill in your spine. You're like, dude, that means a lot. He'd say it on the air. He'd say it like, and so I am also complicit with the Donald Trump stuff because, you know, I talk to the other athletes on the show and the other people about, hey, you know, so that made me feel good. So I put up, you know, I started thinking, what all has he said in front of me over the years? I never did his show. I always rejected that. That was a bridge too far. I never called him up personally and said, hey, let's hang out. You know, I went to the Playboy Mansion with him because he'd done the show, and I felt like, well, I need to make sure he gets there, and that's fine, but I left. But I'm also a little complicit because I never, you know, I said, oh, I'm hanging with Donald Trump. Donald Trump's coming on the show. And so, you know, I need to know that. That doesn't mean I can tell the truth about him now, but I do know what he does to people. He's like, you know, this. And I also said when he was here, when the Secret Service was here, he would always come on and, you know, we had the athletes. It's funny. They can be your same size as you, but you don't fuck with athletes because they have this magic that turns on and they are competitive. And, you know, I'd sit next to athletes and I'd be going, yeah, I bet I could take him. And, you know, I learned quickly from even a fake fight with Michael Strahan and these other guys, you could get your fucking ribs broke. And I just have a ton of respect. But Trump would come on and we'd be off, we'd go off camera to greet him. And, you know, he's about 6'3", 6'2".
Oh, he's a tall guy.
6'2", and he'd be like doing the soul handshake with the black athletes, and he's talking, you know, and I remember saying to him, hey, dude, yeah, don't he's fucking easy on that because these guys will fucking kill you. I know it seems like you're the same size as them, but he goes, I don't know. I go, yeah, no, they'll fucking kill you. You know, I've always said no. Yeah, I think I used to think that too, but I've been around them long enough. They'll fucking kill you. It seems like even the little ones will fucking kill you. Even the little hockey guys.
The athlete,
they'll fucking
kill
you. Yeah, of course they will.
They're tuned machines, man.
But I also know he's never been punched in the nose. Donald Trump his whole life is craving
explains a lot
to be punched in the nose. And
Explains a
I'd love
lot.
to- right.
Explains a lot in
Because
life.
you got it. Once you punch in the nose, then you're
Things
like,
change.
okay. yeah.
Yeah.
You're less likely to be a bully. And you're also aware, like, okay, that's what's coming. That's okay. I can deal with that.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
also don't.
Maybe I should
hopefully-
chill.
We also hopefully don't pick on fucking people. The first time you get punched in the nose and see the fucking lights, you're like,
Yeah. Oh.
whoa,
Okay, I should calm down a little bit.
yeah.
Things can
But if
happen.
you don't ever get punched in the nose, you crave it. You're like, why don't you do shitty stuff? Like that's why I said Secret Service. I want to punch him straight in the nose, and maybe he'll go, okay, I got that. Now I'm done. And they're like, oh, we're gonna take you to jail.
That's pretty funny. I mean, out of all the time you know him and ever been around him, like, is there like a single time that like, or just a culmination of things that, or was it maybe publicly when he started doing the president thing?
Oh, that was it.
Like, is that when it turned, that's the turning point?
The birther stuff. The first time I saw him on TV doing the Barack Obama went board here, I called Mark Burnett. Yeah. I called the embassy. I go, oh no, that's the host of your show. That is because the Barack Obama stuff. Now this is how I am. I'm so crazy. Barack Obama's grandpa lived in Kansas. I lived in Iowa. Barack Obama's grandpa lived in a small town in Kansas. I lived in a small town in Iowa. My grandpa looks exactly like Barack Obama's grandpa. I didn't have a mother growing up in a small farming town. Barack Obama was black. If you're different in a small farming town, people give you shit all the time. So I was like, I am just like Barack Obama. We have so much in common. We got shit from people. And our grandpas, I bet, had to defend us. Because my grandpa had to fucking defend me. And so I related to him. And then all of a sudden Donald Trump's like, you know the first black president ever? Yeah, he didn't really count. I'm a rich white guy that's coming into I'm an asshole fraternity guy coming in here ruining your fucking deal. And I was like, oh, fuck that. So I said, Mark Burnett at NBC, what are you going to do about that? That's outrageous. So racist. It's such an asshole move.
Yeah.
Because I don't care where you sit on your politics. The Barack Obama story is a fucking great
bullshit.
American story to come where he came from and go to
bullshit.
college.
Yeah. Fuck
you. And so people let him slide. They let him slide. They didn't fire him for quite a while. And he trotted his show pony Melania out there, who and she did the same thing. So she's trash too. And it started working. He knows it's not true. He keeps saying it because he's conspiracy people. And just think about this. Barack Obama had to find his goddamn birth certificate for a fucking private citizen
for this bullshit.
Asshole Donald Trump. That's fucking
like, where's
outrageous.
the fucking rules, man?
Yeah.
I thought there were rules. Like, I feel like presidents have been let go for way smaller shit. Like, what's the difference?
So
like,
I think about that every day. So everything I do and these other people do at him, Donald Trump has never called me a liar. He's never said my name. He said Mark Burnett says, because he knows everything I say is the truth. And Michael Cohen has said that because Michael Cohen has been with him. He was on his side for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
that's his guy.
And there's, you read the New York Times a couple weekends ago, and his lawyer was like, "Oh my God, when he's with Tom Arnold, Giuliani and Trump just started freaking out, like, oh my God, this is crazy. Why is there is something about me because I know the truth about him, and I'm telling you." He's going to resign. I'm going to take, and not only that, but the people like Mark Burnett that are complicit, that have not said anything, that are propping him up, that are just as racist as him because because they've taken advantage of all this. They're going to go down too. They're accountable now because people are getting hurt. We're risking going to war. They can't say, "Oh, I didn't notice this," or "I'm just a silly television producer." You've made hundreds of millions of dollars from Americans. You put our country at risk. You are accountable.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Bang. Yes, man. Well, hey, I'm glad.
And you choked me at the goddamn. You thought you'd get away with. I tried to walk around.
I'm gonna be up there next time, man. We're gonna bring Nate with us, man.
I would have used. You know what? You would have. I could tell. Any of these guys here would have been like,
it's whatever.
That's what you do. You're like,
it's whatever, bro.
The fucker was standing up there at the top of the steps like this. And, I think there was a producer for Bear Grylls. That's why he was showing up. I saw him and I was like, you got to be shitting me. So I put my head down. And, he was a special forces guy, I guess, in the UK, which is almost like a real special forces guy. Mark Burnett. I saw him and I'm like, you got to be shitting me. So I thought, I'm just going to walk around. So I got to the top stairs, and I kind of started walking around. The guy with me, Brian Fogel, who won the Oscar that year for the Russian doping documentary, Icarus, a great documentary. Ironically, the documentary Winter, he had his phone out too. He got a little footage of this. So, but he's not a fighter, and he also didn't know who Mark Burnett was. And so I just like, oh, fuck, I already feel embarrassed to be going to this party. Nobody likes me anyway. And he's like, I'm going to block you. And he started talking. And so I kind of walk around, and all of a sudden he leaned in and jutted his chin. He was drunk, and his chin hit my chin. He grabbed my throat around my windpipe. And I'm like, I almost stumbled backwards. And I'm like, you motherfucker. And I grabbed his belt loop so I didn't fall backwards. I go, you better let me get my fucking balance so we can fight fair. And all of a sudden someone went, Mark, you're choking him. I don't know if it was Jeff Probst, but his group sort of pulled him. As they pulled him back, it pulled me up to the top step, and we got level, and then it got a little air between us. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, I see he had a Jesus chain in that fucking shirt, and his face. I just started opening up on him. I'm like, you fucking Trump fucking psycho fucking asking. And the problem is, this is the biggest party in Hollywood. This is the night before the Emmys, the fanciest party. And a lot of people just saw Tom Arnold doing this.
This is my kind of party.
Psycho. And I can see on his face like he's in shock. He's in shock because he did that. Like, Trump has enabled people to think, I can kick Tom Arnold. Yeah. Suddenly, I have the ability to kick Tom Arnold's ass. I did not have it before. But Donald Trump has enabled me to stop him from coming in this party. And it was like every kid in grade school, you're not coming in here. Oh, I'm like, you fucking, Yeah,
he's empowering a lot of losers,
like,
man.
fuck you. And just to tear his shit off in front of everybody in fucking Hollywood.
Let me tell
you something. I threw it in the fucking weeds. I heaved it. And let me tell you.
Should have came up on World Star like you jacked a rapper. Like, I got your chain, buddy.
I went like this. I fucking heaved it as far. And then his wife, touched by an angel, Nora Downey, Noma, Nora, what's her name? God, Noma, whatever. She tweeted, oh my God, Tom Arnold, is your show worth it? A bruise that's been on her head for a fucking month. He attacked me and my husband. I didn't even see her.
How do you bruise someone's hand, bro? That's pretty odd. Did you punch her in the hand?
She tweeted that. Odd. And that's why lawyer's like, you got to fucking. Here's the thing. I didn't leave them. If I assaulted the CEO of MGM Television, the most powerful man in Hollywood television, and his wife, the beloved Noma Downey Jr.,
you'd be in jail,
if I assaulted them at a party in front of everybody, I'd at least be
in jail.
Would I not be asked to leave the party?
Something would happen.
We were the last people to fucking leave that party, man. I fucking told that story to everybody. I walked around like I was like, they're like, oh my God, we saw that. I go, yeah, that motherfucker. Like, I told that story so many times. We were the last people to leave. Yeah, that was, and I kept enhancing it. Like, it was like.
Well, we definitely support you on your quest, man. I'm glad that you're staying busy, even though you've been in the game for so long. You're still staying busy and relevant, man. But right now, I kind of want to just take it in reverse, take it back a little bit to where it all started quick, okay? Like, I think one of the first times I probably ever saw you was clearly on Roseanne.
Yeah.
You were, from what I understand, you were hired as a writer and whatnot,
I was.
Right?
1988, moved here, same neighborhood, Bennett County, 1988.
Because you were doing you were doing stand-up before that, right?
Oh, yes.
How so early in your career did you end up getting on that? Is that a normal thing for people to do?
Well, I started, I want to be a stand-up because, I grew up in a house with, my dad was a single father, 3 kids, and he worked and he came home, and really the only time we heard it, when he was 22, he had a 4-year-old, 3-year-old, my sister, and my brother was 1. And then he came home, and then we really heard him laugh when there was a Bob Hope. Do you remember Bob Hope?
Oh, yeah. We got a Bob Hope theater in Stockton.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And when Bob Hope special was on, my brother and I, sister, could hear my dad laughing downstairs, like fucking laughing. And I remember saying, whatever it is that Bob Hope does, I want to do that, because that made my dad laugh. And
that's a real genuinely great reasoning right there, man.
In high school, too, if you grow up, back in the day, getting to school, in grade school, in our neighborhood, you had to fucking walk by all the other asshole kids the Reber brothers and shit. And again, if you don't have a mom and people point that out. The older boys, they're so
kids are vicious.
Kids
man.
are vicious, and there's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of fighting, until you realize, I am bigger than you, even though you are older. And then me and my friends all went one day, we're going to beat the shit out of these older guys because we're bigger than them. But along the way, that gauntlet to school is terrifying. There's nothing more terrifying than in grade school when these guys seem like, oh my God, they're so. But I remember one day making them laugh in class, like doing something inappropriate, and they laughed, and I'm like, I'm going to do that with these fucking assholes.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to make them laugh until I can, get my ultimate revenge. And so I became kind of that guy in school and did show, at the parties I would do. Card Act the Magnificent was just taking Johnny Carson. And so I just said to myself, if I get on TV once as a comedian, one time, the people in Ottumwa, Iowa would like me, that's where I'm from, which is not true. But that was my dream. I just wanted to get out of there and not work at the meatpacking plant for 50 years like my grandpa.
Idea.
And so, I got enough money to go to the University of Iowa. They had an open mic night. You could play a song, you could do a poetry, or you could tell jokes. I got all my buddies. We drank some Everclear Punch, which is Everclear with powdered Gatorade.
Oh, boy.
Fucking wasted.
With the powdered Gatorade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Straight up. And then we went down there. I got the video. I thought I was awesome. I was crazy. But all my friends laughed. Still my friends to this day. And then I was like, that is great. I will be on David Letterman in 3 weeks. That's crazy. But I started doing it and then met some people from Minneapolis, real comedians who went on after me, and they said, hey, all my friends left, so there's no people to watch them. They said, next time, if you get your friends to stay for the real show, we will invite you to Minneapolis to perform at a real comedy club. Because they just want my friends to stay.
Yeah.
My friends would just leave with me because they're drunk. Yeah. So then eventually I went up there.
Same thing with rap shows.
And I did that. And then I moved to Minneapolis for 5 years, 83 to 88. A great time to be there, with my type of music, with you probably don't remember bands like The Replacements and Husker Du. And these are guys that we were friends with, and Prince. I worked at First Avenue. This was Prince's first. Started. I've been to Paisley Park and played basketball with him. So
wow, he's a baller too.
Yeah, he's a baller.
He took you out probably. Yeah,
he's got me on stage at the Hollywood Bowl to mock me.
Wow.
But we knew him. He's so fucking funny of a dude. He's definitely a baller. And so it was more personal. This way back when he first started. And so we're all sort of in the same, because they like comedy and we love music. And so, and I liked drugs and alcohol. So, there was a part of it was a crazy time. And I met Roseanne when I first up there in 83. She came to town to perform. She wasn't famous. And I performed, and we performed together, and we hit it off. And then I started writing jokes for her. And then in 85, she went on Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson, man, back then, if you went on him,
big deal,
and you killed,
big deal.
And I remember watching her, and she did some of the jokes I'd written. And I was like, oh my God, my friend just killed. She got a career. She got an HBO special. I came out and played her husband in that before the Roseanne show. We were friends. We traveled together. She had a family. Then in 88, she was getting her show because I wrote for her. I wrote her voice. I came out to write her show. As a writer in 89, we became more than friends. And then here we are.
I mean, what
enemies
for writing a TV show that? Like, what all does that entail? Like, how do you start? Like, how do you start on an episode? Like, what's that all about?
Oh my God!
I gotta know.
I can't. I did not know.
Yeah, it's your first time at the time, right?
I didn't know what I was doing. Here's what I do. I was her. There was a lot of old school people when we first started on the show. They were kind of pushing her aside. I was the guy that was like, listen. It's her show. It's her voice. I know I don't know how to do this with finesse, but you're gonna fucking let her do it. So I was like a bouncer. Like she admired me because I would defend her fucking ass. I'd defend her at the bar. I'd defend her on the set. I'd be like, listen, you fucking disrespect her. I'm gonna come up there. That's how crazy it was in the 80s. Like I don't know. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. You're going to listen to her. I'm going to come up there and fucking break the windows out here. Like, that's it for real.
I love that.
And then until they realized, oh, yeah, this is her show. Like this guy. And then eventually brought in a bunch of my guys, a bunch of guys from Minneapolis, from the Midwest. And then I got a producer that got it. So he got to have half old school guys. I got to have guys that were comics that we turned into writers, Norm Macdonald and Drake Sather and a bunch of really talented comics with voices that I taught how to write scripts. I go, if you got a talented voice in comedy, anybody can learn to write a script. Here's how you do it. Here's the first act. Here's the second act. Here's how we do. We like a credit tag. But once you have a voice and put all those voices together to write her voice, and this is the voice of the show. We want to keep it fresh. So it was brilliant. And the show was brilliant.
I mean, it's a classic show.
And it really was.
Fucking
and it
classic show.
really great actors. John Goodman, Laurie Metcalf.
Yeah, what was John Goodman like? I got to hear some John Goodman.
He was a
He's
partier.
One of the best,
he was
man.
He's a brilliant actor. And this is when people were
real
young.
quick, The Big Lebowski, it
Oh,
might
my
be one of the best movie characters in history.
Yes, Revenge
ever.
of the Nerds. No, but he's brilliant. And this is, the 80s, we were all young.
Yeah.
And, there was a little competition between guys. And, he's a guy. He's from the Missouri. And, but you know what? It was, he's amazing. Just the people like the show, the parents of Roseanne, Shelley Winters, Dad Beatty, his dad, the people that came through there, the kids were brilliant. It was just a great time, and there's brilliant writers. Joss Whedon, do you know who Joss Whedon is? He does some kind of one of these superhero things. If you look up and say, he was on the first year. People, I don't know, you can look him. He seems to. Oh, fuck Joss Whedon. I was going to tell a story. Like a lot of young people know who he is. Oh.
That's cool, man. I mean, how do you feel about the whole reboot?
Well,
were you involved in that? In any
I
kind
wrote
of
a
way?
review of it before it came out.
Were you
no,
involved
I wasn't
in it?
involved.
Okay.
I had my show. I knew that. I did my. I'm okay not be. I when I left, because I left, we were getting divorced, and I always say I lost my job same day that I got divorced. But I was so happy to not be married, and I was fine. Of course, I'm not going to work there. But I worked there 6 years. Those are the best 6 years. There's no doubt the show dropped off after I left. There is no doubt that I added to the show. There's no doubt that it was Roseanne's show. All shows drop off, but I added to that show. I made it better, not exponentially better, but you can see the difference. I kept things a little calmer. I kept, I added. I got to act on that show. I got to produce. I got to write. What a great experience for a guy from Iowa to work on one of the greatest shows ever. So I have no complaints. And it did drop off a cliff because she was so angry. She was going to try to prove that she could do it herself and she could direct it. And then so the reboot, I wrote a review of what I'd seen. It was good. And, they're all new writers. And, I'm also a little possessive of how the show used to be. And I thought they did a pretty good job. But she was also trying to walk this line between Trump. Yeah. They changed her character a little bit.
Yeah.
Because her character would never support Trump.
Shocked. Yeah, I was pretty shocked.
Yeah, and then I realized how crazed she was with Trump. It's not like she just supported some of the things. It's like she literally was one of these cult members that could not say, oh, the kids in cages? Oh, I'm not for that. She literally could not say a word. It's like
This is bad.
Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, the worst of it, where you literally can't be,
now we're going to get followed.
Yeah. Well, but Trump does that same thing where Trump derangement syndrome, TDS, that's how the Scientology is. They label people.
Yeah.
You're an unsavory individual.
You're a lib.
But that's the same way. Except L. Ron Hubbard wrote a fucking book. Like, he's a pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
But if you look at how that religion works, and people say that because they're like, well, this one thing about it worked for me in a relationship. So I'm going to say this one thing about Trump's taxing worked for me. But
so forget everything else.
But it's really the same thing. And they just keep, if you question it, they fucking hate you. And then they get the religious people like, he is Jesus. Trump is Jesus. Jesus sent him here. Well, that's who Roseanne became. Like, he is the guru. I'm like, that is not the person I knew. There is something up. And so the show was doomed. And the weekend it got canceled was the weekend before I was coming back for the second season. And I was in touch with my stepdaughter, and I was like, oh boy, something's going to happen. Because she cannot, I said, I need her to, if she's going to keep bad-mouthing Hillary, she's got to apologize to Chelsea, because she did some shitty things about Chelsea Clinton. And I said, that's like people bad-mouthing you Jen. She cannot do that. She's got to make amends. She's got to show some humanity. And, I also tried to help Roseanne during the season. I said a thing, she fucking hates me. Like, she wouldn't acknowledge. But I said to her daughter, I said, here's a phone that before she tweets, it goes to another server. And then it goes up. She won't know the difference. Like, and there was a point during the season where I was like, where does she live? I'm driving there now. And I'm going to throw her fucking phone in the river. I'm not kidding. During the season, when she was tweeting, I go, because her fucking boyfriend is shit. No, for real. Like, he is a pussy. Like, her kids were worried. Her kids were worried. I go, does she live here in El Segundo right now? Give me the address. I'm driving over there. Like, there were about 1,000 things I would have done. There'd been no Wi-Fi there for her to fucking tweet. Yeah. If $1 billion show is on the line, do you think that she would have been freeballing that tweeting shit? That in my day, she didn't want to go to work every day, but she did. And if I'd have let her fucking destroy the show, the other side of that, she would have been devastated because that show meant everything to her. Part of my job, it was a shit job sometimes, was to stop her from hurting herself. That show, she had a very self-destructive side. Eventually, it's time to end it, but during the season, to let her she keeps reaching out and sending these tweets. She is saying, stop me from sending these tweets. I would have fucking stopped her. I said all this stuff to them. I warned ABC. They're like, you're in trouble, Tom Arnold. You cannot come on our shows. We're blackballing you. I was like, oh, this is going to end terribly. And then she does the full-on racist thing about Valerie Jarrett. Yeah. Full-on monkey. Yeah. The most racist thing you can say.
That's the worst fucking term.
And you know what? There's black kids, children, that she's this rich, white, iconic woman. The mothers, like Bill Cosby, the father who fucking drugs women and rapes them. And then the mother's like, you're a monkey. That's what I think of you. How fucking shit is that?
That's fucking terrible.
What you do is you fucking own it. She almost owned it. She almost said, you know what, I was fucked up. And she should have said these. I got in with these people. And the truth is and it just got fucked up. But she did it. And she pulled it back. And then she was the victim. And it's fucked up. And it's fucked up because these people that she supports and support her are full-on racist, fucking white men, assholes, because I did dox a whole bunch of them. During the season, I started the people around her because of my show, I had the ability, and because of my friends, I started the people that were around her, Roseanne, I was trying to help by one, going around these people that she's like, these are my gurus, and there's these fake, some are sort of Nazis, but these fake people, I started just fucking turning the lights off in their house and doing some shitty things. So I did try to help Roseanne. But if that is, I should probably show that one of these days because I have all the documentation. Man. Like I was hammering this. There's these guys that she worships, this Thomas Victor, this moron. Oh, this guy. I just, yeah.
So I take it you guys aren't talking too much now.
They want to start a war so bad somewhere, but they're just morons. I kept saying, are you in love? All of a sudden I show up in the middle of his conversations. Are you in love with Roseanne? And like in the middle of, like very, you better stay the fuck away from as myself, you fucking weirdo. Like it just because nobody else is doing it, like, and his kids are worried and her kids are, I have nothing to do with it. It's none of my business. It's been 25 years.
Yeah.
But, when your kids, even though they're 40, they're always a teenager. Once they're your goddamn stepkids, they're always a teenager, and if they're distressed and their moms cut them out of their lives, you do get sucked in. And it's always going to end up I'm the bad guy. That's how it goes to that family. They have these traumas, and then the whole family rallies back and is like, yeah, Tom Arnold.
That's Tom Arnold.
But, fuck that. And at the end of this one, though, I said, listen, Jen, I have a family now. I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. And so we can't do it like this anymore. It's because I really, So anyway, go ahead.
What a wild ride, man. Like, it was so nuts at one time. You guys were just like one of those like super couples that the tabloids was falling around, man. My question to you is like, all these other like big like Hollywood couples right now, it's in the limelight and the attention, like like a Beyonce and Jay-Z or something like that.
I like them.
Yeah, of course.
They're good guys.
What type of advice would you have for big power public couples always in the public eye? Like, what's something helpful that maybe you could have learned from, something you could pass on to somebody else?
Geez, if I couldn't. I will say this. I watched pieces of one of these documentaries that they put on. There's a lot of documentaries about Tom and Roseanne, or these things that they put on the cable shows. And I used to, they made TV movies about that, and I would be like, oh, that's embarrassing. And this one that was on pretty recently, because I get the clips of things here, I started watching it on the weekend. I was like, that is pretty. A couple things I thought, because it's been long enough, you're kind of looking at it like, look at those fucking young guys. They're fucking, that's tough. There's some badass moments. B, I learned some things about myself that I'd gotten wrong for a few years, some facts. Some of the journalists there straightened me out on a couple things that I got sketchy that I had been saying, and then I researched it, and it wasn't so bad. And it's backfired because everything I think now is, what will my children learn about me? Considering where we came from and where we landed, and people did the best they could. I don't get in fights with paparazzi ever anymore, and that costs so much money. Well, they have, if a woman I was with said, hey, that guy, I would never let a woman agitate. Well, I do let get agitated, but I wouldn't be with somebody that was so agitated all the time. When I was young, I was like, what are they? What did he do? Let me fucking. There was, and there were some just dumb things and some goading but looking at it now, it costs a lot of money back in those days, if you struck a paparazzi guy, it's $120,000 because they could never have sex. That's the first thing they put in their thing. I'm afraid to have sex because of Tom Arnold struck me. Or your assistant.
How does that even correlate?
You can brush up against somebody. And so I have friends, these guys are still working. There's a huge...
I think they might have a bigger problem if they can't have sex. I don't think it got nothing to do with you.
There's one classic fight at the old Spago where we pull up, they won't let us out. At the old Spago, that was by Tower Records, at the old Tower Records. Up there. And you can see us in the car, and they were all in front of the car. They won't let us out. And a kid... comes up, this redneck kid. He's like, hey, do you want us to clear him out? And Roseanne says, yeah, I'll give you $50. And so these fucking fans just start wailing on these guys. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So I have to get out of the car, fucking start peeling these guys off of the paparazzi. So it looks crazy. And of course, it shows Roseanne handing them the $50, laughing.
Nice.
So we got sued for that, but it is so crazy.
We're going to find that.
And it's at the old Spago. And you see what we have on. We've just come out of the old Spago, too. We're dressed like hillbillies. No, we are hillbillies. The old Spago was fancy, man. That's where you met, like, Burt Lancaster and fucking all the fancy people. We just come out of there. So that says a lot about us. And people didn't fight at the old Spago. Let me tell you something.
Until Tom Arnold pulled up.
Crazy, so whatever went down, it is so well documented that we're like, oh, yeah, we will pay you. Here is the $50. And then the Fed just opening up and me going, oh, shit, I got to save these guys' lives. And then me pulling people off of the, Yeah,
because I picture a paparazzi to be like frail like a WWE referee. Like, you barely touch them and they're like, oh.
This is before I ever considered getting sober, too. Like, we are so fucked up. I don't even want to say, don't drive. There's a lot of things that could have gone on. There's a lot of things. There was no fucking Uber. There's a lot of things that could have gone on
saying now.
In this photo. I'm looking at her like, I just thinking, first of all, how fucking crazy. I'm 20. I might be 28 or 29 there, and she's 35 maybe. And we're looking at each other like, what the fuck? Okay, I got this handled. I'm like, oh shit, when they start pounding him? No, but I have to get out and and that was kind of an ongoing thing. And then sometimes we'd fight with each other, like, God damn it. It was just so combustible. And, but, I'm grateful that I think we knew, both of us, oh, that guy or that woman, that's who that's good. Whatever situation we're in, they will, we'll he's going to be good with the show, with my kids, with people. And I knew she's going to make me better at everything. Like she intellectually, creatively, she's going to get me in positions to succeed successfully. And together we can be creative in other ways. She believes in me. That's really what it was. That woman believes in me. Like she might be crazy. I know she's talented, but she thinks I am. So that's a big fucking deal right there. That's really what it was, our first attraction. Like she thought I was fucking awesome. Like I was so
awesome,
crazy.
man.
I know, but just think about this. Like a person that you know, for the first time we met when she came to town for Denver, she just was like, oh, this guy. And it's not like you go, that is the sexiest dude in the world, although I was. But she's like, that guy is so fucking talented. And there's about 8 people who thought they were amazing. They were talented. But she was like, that guy will. And then I could do whatever. She wanted me as crazy. And then when I moved to LA, here's the funny thing. She's like, whoa, you party every night? I like that. I was like doing blow and drink. I go, yeah. She goes, oh, fuck, I thought you only did it when we were together. I go, oh, no, I do it every night. She goes, that's bad. I go, is it? I go, okay, well, I'm going to have to, and I thought to myself, yeah, I'm going to have to hide that from you. So I'm not going to move in with you. I'm going to stay in the valley. And so it became an issue until I went to rehab. I was like, I didn't consider going, oh, I'm going to stop. I went, okay, I'm not going to move in with it. I'm going to hide it. But she goes, do you party like that every night? I go, yeah. She goes, oh, I thought that's bad. I go, is it? I thought it was just because I got to LA and the drugs were cheaper. I go, you can't believe it. I can buy by quantity here and it's so much cheaper. I think I just bought a pound of cocaine. This guy, God,
bulk,
it's so
gotta
much,
get it in bulk.
The bulk is so much better here, Rosie.
Gotta get in bulk. It's cost effective, man.
She goes, what? I go, yeah, it's a fucking great deal. And now I'm working. And she goes, wait a minute, you
a pound?
Hey, by the way. She was not, there's no saints in this story. She just wasn't a crazy person. She was like, she was a moderate, normal cocaine user. I was like, oh, I'm going to do, I'm going to get bulk,
Buy in bulk. Buy in bulk, man. Well, I think we're going to take this time. We're going to take a couple of fan questions from social media real quick, okay? This first one comes from Heat of the Beat on Instagram, which is a great TV show on Amazon Prime. They actually put one of my songs in there. Check them out. They ask if sharing your political views in Hollywood has ever made any roles disappear or career suffrage in general for being as outspoken as you are in your views.
Oh, of course. And I don't think. Well, I think people are uncomfortable, but I don't. First of all, I don't consider it my political views, but. Yeah, of course, there are people uncomfortable because they don't. People don't like. They just want things to go smooth, and I get
non-confrontational.
I get that, But these are different times. I guess in normal times, you're like, well, do your thing, stick with issues, and usually it is issues. Like I want gun safety. I want my kids to feel safe at school. I want background checks. I want mental health stuff. Yeah. And let me explain why. I grew up with guns. Like I have a good point. But now, because it's Trump and it's just a colossal, situation, it does seem like more political. And there are people that are traumatized by it too. They don't want to hear about it. I get that too. I got it handled. Right now, there's nothing that can be done about it. And my agents don't call me, and I've lost. I get that, but this is what has to happen now. I know when it's over, the side I'm on the right side of this.
Yeah, so it happens when you're a real person, man. There's always going to be resistance when you're on the right side of things. That's just life, man, Yeah,
I also know that most people don't even pay attention to it. Like if I went to do a job, like I just finished 2 movies in a row, and the people I work with, this is the best I've ever been. It's the sharpest. People that are Trump supporters say, oh, he's on drugs. He sits around doing drugs. He lives in a hell hole. He is
some hell hole.
No, but I mean that's his life, and that is not my life. I don't do drugs. I don't do, but my life genuinely is my children, and then I do this other stuff, and I've never been sharper, as an actor, as a person, but people. I don't know if they need to believe that, but it's fine. You don't care what people say about me. I don't, you get over that a long time before, because that will also slow you down if you're like, oh, no, that's not true. Because this is so important what I do,
It is.
And it's also nice to do this with you guys, because if you walk around and you go, what does that guy think of me? Does he know? No. You just got to go around in life and go, assume the best. Not you don't know what people know about you or what you think about you.
No, you
but
don't.
you assume they don't know anything. So you introduce yourself. I'm Tom Arnold. You're like, oh, of course I know you're Tom Arnold. I don't know that. I'm Jackson Quinn's dad. So yeah, that's but there's a cop out to say I'm not going to stand up say something about something I know or believe in. Of
course.
Because the world, life is short.
Yeah.
And we're on this planet, man. And we got to take care of each other.
We got to do the right thing,
We
man.
got to take care of each other. We got to do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
Look out
man.
for each other.
Yeah, I agree, man. Well, this next question, the last question.
I don't like bullies. That's what I really
fuck bullies.
These people are bullies, and they think they can bully you because they can sue you and threaten you, and they're mean, and that's not okay. Just so it boils down to, I don't like bullies.
Me neither. Bullies get punched up, man.
Yeah, they do.
Real quick.
Yeah, they do.
Real quick, man.
They do.
So this final question actually comes from my DJ Esco. He got a funny question for you.
Yeah, what's he got?
He wants to know, was the glass window real when Arnold asked for the goddamn page?
Oh, yes. Let me tell you something. That anytime you film in Washington, D.C., you have to shut down the streets. Let me tell you, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Anytime you film at Constitution, what is it, Constitution Avenue or Constitution Boulevard? I'll tell you what, man. We had some filming True Lies. Let me just say this about this movie. I've been at 100.
Yeah, we're gonna go real deep.
Oh, are you going to
momentarily? Yes.
Well, let me tell you something about that glass. Yeah, it's real. It was movie glass, and he broke it. And when we first started, and there's a running thing with the movie where I wouldn't say the line as written, and Jim Cameron, this is where he exploded. He's like, God damn it, Tom, say the line that I wrote one time exactly as written in this scene. And so I forget what the line that was in the movie is there, but I said it, and Arnold broke out. He goes, now say it 17 different other ways. So I had to think of 17.
That's a very precise number.
Yes, but so they had to reset that glass every time, and I'd say, oh, you gotta be. I had to think of 17 different things to say to get Arnold out of the car. Like, whoa, you gotta. I can't remember. I just ad-libbed 70 different things as he's coming back around, and then they had to reset the glass every time.
Wow.
But that's Jim Cameron's wonderful. He's brilliant.
Ham must have hurt.
That's when he was like, okay, I've had it with you, funny boy. Now I need you to think of 17 different things, and they're like, we got to fucking reset this thing, and But it was.
You had to break a bunch of windows.
You had to break a bunch. But there's you can't imagine how many windows were broken in that movie. How many things.
That's a big guess, man. I mean, I guess now since that was a question, this is the time where we got to dive into it, man. There's no way we can speak to Tom Arnold and not talk about True Fucking Lies. Are you serious? It is happening. It's one of my favorite action films ever, man. And I really think was such a great cast, but even among all the great cast that it was, you really helped carry that movie in a big way.
Yes, I did.
I feel like it was your breakout, man.
Definitely.
That was the movie that locked you, I think. People were like, yo, this dude is fucking hilarious. You know what I mean?
That movie came out, Roseanne filed for divorce in April of 1994. And I was like, I'll be going back to Iowa. And Jim Cameron and Arnold Schwarzenegger are like, fuck that. True Lies comes out in July of 1994. And I was like, I wish I could believe that. And that movie, you think about this, most expensive movie ever made. And I have such a vital role in that movie. And Jim Cameron said, trusted me. You had enough faith in me to go, that's the guy. And so
you were
very
though.
big. And of course I was. But
did you have to audition?
I did. I think I did. But Arnold, you could just tell, we hit it off. I mean, it was that fast. And Jim Cameron said he said he cast me because Arnold came walking up and we did this scene literally one time together, man. And I'd forgotten I just wanted to meet Jim Cameron, so I went out to his house. I knew my agent sucked up to get me the meeting. I knew he didn't even want to meet me. I was like, this is a bullshit meeting. I'm embarrassed. I don't want to waste his time. And I thought, well, shit, I'm going to just go out and meet Jim Cameron. So I was out there, and he's like, we talked a little bit. He's so super nice. And he's like, well, since you're here, hey, do the scene. I go, well, I didn't even read it. He goes, oh man, you didn't learn the audition scene? I go, no, because I know I'm not going to get the movie, so why even waste my time? He goes, well, just read it. It's 3 pages. So I read it off the paper, and he's like, huh. He goes, can I film you? And I did it again. He said, get Arnold down here. I mean, it happened that fast. I didn't
He was
Arnold
there?
He was upstairs working on the.
He was already at the house.
I mean, it happened that fast.
And you didn't even know he was there.
No, I didn't know what was going on. He came down and we did it, and then he was like, it just started happening real quick, and then fucking Arnold, and then as he walked away, I said to Cameron, yeah, I could take him. Because I thought he was. I was like, I sized him up. Because you always, when you meet men, you're like.
That's the first time you met Arnold?
Well, I'd met him because of stuff, but I just wanted Cameron to know, I could take him.
This.
Like, just out of fucking random. I probably was nervous. And he said, that's when. And he goes, you got the movie. That's when. And so, and he was like, but don't tell anyone for 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, I absolutely will not tell anyone for 2 weeks. And I went out and
told everybody.
Everybody know me, believe me, as long. But there's a reason why. But it was such a great thing, and to really, because people were so negative on me publicly when they first screened it. And say Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis, Tom Arnold. People booed in the screening, but by the time the 2-hour film ended, they filled out the cards, and I was their favorite character. And that's
you
why
are one of the best characters.
Well,
of the movie.
I am the best.
Period.
Character, but that's what a movie or art or music or a film can do, because it takes the personality out, and people can go back and just feel, and they can just go and they can be objective. They go, wow, that's what's great about putting that stuff out there and doing what you do here. We're sitting back, we're taking all the bullshit out, and we're keeping it real. And that's what that movie did. People are like, well, I cannot objectively say Tom Arnold has no talent, because that's fucking balls out.
You fucking killed it.
And I got to be, my relationship in that movie is my relationship with Arnold Schwarzenegger now. Like, we stayed friends.
You
we
just
talk
stay in the
all
van?
the time. That was the van was the last day we're shooting at 7 months. He's like, I got one more roll of film. Do whatever you want. Just do something. I'm gonna film you in the van. Just ad-lib stuff.
Fucking around, dude. There's some funny shit in that van, dude. You guys had like just a ridiculous natural chemistry, man.
Yeah.
Like, did you have to do any kind of like, I don't know, like combat weapons training kind of safety stuff for that movie? Because you
did a little bit of stuff.
You had a couple little moments
stuff.
there.
You did a little stuff, but like
when they shot at you with that pole. Right there?
Well, the pole. They first time we're filming at night in Georgetown, in the Washington D.C. area, and there's always a lot of people around when you're filming. You can't see them because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's a big deal. So we're filming. The first time they shot at me behind the pole, I was just hiding behind it. I came out, and Jim Cameron comes out. God damn it! Fuck it, because they had all the scripts going. Goes, God damn, Tom, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna reset it, but do something when you come out of the pole, like. Do something. I want some kind of action.
The ball grab.
And I'm like,
man.
oh, fuck that.
Checking for
like, I will fucking do everything when I come out. So I'm like, he goes, what would you do if you got shot? I go, okay. And I will do everything. So the next one I did everything, and that's what they used. Like, literally, hilarious. I will check
and then
everything.
You put the kiss on the pole, right?
Well, I did it everything. Like,
that was great.
I will fucking do it all.
That was great.
I didn't want to reset that goddamn pole and take another hour or two.
So you had to do some kind of training or what? Like what did they make you do?
They made me fucking put in a fucking G-string with Arnold. Oh my God, the first day I got there, Arnold's had a stogie and he's got to have G-string. I'm like, because we also had to walk through, film ourselves to get our skeletons to walk through.
That's right.
I'm like, motherfucker, Arnold Schwarzenegger is fucking naked here, basically. So I was like, can I do this in my boxers? Like, it was... everything, like, he's like, you want to train with me? And like, I'm like, you got to be shitting me. This is pretty. Okay, the first day, Cameron's like, do you want Arnold to go to your house and work out with you? And I was like, yeah, I believe I would like the greatest bodybuilder that ever lived to come over to my home and train with me in my home gym. And so Arnold came the morning and he knocked on the door and I answered the door and I'm like, oh my God, Arnold, I forgot you were coming. Hey, guys. Everybody I knew, Arnold Schwarzenegger's here to work out with me. Everybody, literally, I had to invite everybody I knew over. Look at this, guys. Arnold Schwarzenegger's here, the greatest bodybuilder and everything. He's here at my house to work out with me in my home gym. Hey, where is my home gym, guys?
Yeah, how'd that workout go?
We worked out once, And then Cameron called that later that day. He goes, so what time tomorrow? I go, oh, no, there is no tomorrow. He goes, why? I go, because I could say I worked out with Arnold Schwarzenegger, the greatest bodybuilder ever lived, but it's too much fucking pressure because he looks at my body. He does this thing where he's like, he has to compliment one body part. He's like, Tom, you know, you have a fantastic fucking left shin. And then he starts into my trouble spots. And I go, I got a lot of goddamn trouble spots. I don't need that asshole fucking eyeball in my trouble
left
spots.
shin looking good,
He
though.
goes, but you know, you got to do, you know, your abdominals, you can't fucking see them, Tommy. Could you see your dick at all? But he does it in a healthier way when he first knows you. Then he starts in.
And then eases
But
his
he's
way
really
in.
the most inspirational person I've ever met in my life. Like,
I
to this
bet.
day, he gets up at 4:30 a.m. and seizes the goddamn day.
You got to,
He's
man.
72. Well, he got to, but nobody, I mean, you know, I do stuff. We give away 10,000 toys every Christmas in South Central. It's like 2,000 turkeys. And then when I'm done, I'm like, oh, my God, look at us, what we done. And then he goes to some fire fucking station in Northern California. He flies right there, and he does this thing. He like acts like he's running for office every
All the
day,
time.
even when he's not running for office. And so imagine when he got to be governor, how
I
fun
know.
it was for me, because I got to, like, if he was out of the country and late for something, I got to speak at the biggest thing for a governor to do is speak at the California Chamber of Commerce thing.
Mm-hmm.
They have this huge thing. And he was coming back from China for a trade thing, and he was late. And I got to, you can see the picture of my office. I got to sub for him once, and it was literally, it was
Wow.
when they were talking about gay marriage. It was 2008. And I said, and you know, the Chamber of Commerce was not necessarily for it, but
Yeah,
I
probably
said,
not.
you know, Arnold and I have decided gay marriage. I mean, it was just great and wonderful that he trusted me enough, and I knew it was, but it was, you know, it's pretty amazing. He's an amazing human being. He
Man,
really
I
is.
bet, dude. I'd love to have him on the
Fucking
show
awesome.
someday, man. We got to fuck with Arnold at some point, man. And I know you guys have been friends for a good time, man. What was it like filming that helicopter scene, though? That was kind of nuts.
Which,
With Jamie Lee Curtis pulling
oh,
there.
yeah, she's, well, you know, what was it like for me watching her film
Well,
the
I think
helicopter
I think there was like I
She's,
think through part of it you were like in the helicopter.
Well,
for
she,
some
oh no,
part of it or
we were in
something.
the we were in the
Well,
yeah,
the
we
movie
were
anyway.
when the Harrier came out. No, we were in the helicopter. You're right. First of all, filming the with the Harrier that came around our helicopter because that was a real Harrier, and I had to coordinate it with because I couldn't see the plane on the right side of me coming this way. Well, I could see it coming this way, and I had to coordinate my line so that it showed up here, and I had to time it. And I missed it the first time where the plane wasn't right. And I could hear Cameron go, God damn it, do it again. Go back and reset. That plane had to fly about 30 miles out and then reset. He goes, this time if you miss it, Tom, it has to go fucking land. And that's like $60,000. I'm like, God damn it.
Shit.
So I
No
had to
pressure, no
guess.
pressure.
So I had to guess, and I got it right. Because you see my eyes, I'm saying stuff. You can't hear, but I'm guessing I see peripherally that fucking airplane's coming fucking fast. And I have to guess how fast it's going, how I was getting here. But that kind of shit's fun, but it's a little pressure packed.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like, we were filming on the island for the, you know, the end of the thing when we come in there.
Yeah.
They've got Arnold free, and I land my helicopter there to get Arnold. The sun wasn't right. The sun up or whatever for 3 days in a row, and Arnold and I are sitting over here smoking stogies, and all of a sudden I hear Jim Cameron, we're rolling, and I'm like,
It's
what
time.
the fuck? And you kind of tell that Arnold just threw our stogies out. We run into the frame, and it's kind of because it was the third day. Jim Cameron's like, that sun is right. It sets into the keys, and we kind of sprint into it. I get him on the chopper, and so there's a lot of that stuff where you're like, this is, and when they blew up so Jamie Lee Curtis she is the
One of the best.
ballsiest. By the way, crews love her more than they love Tom Arnold, obviously, more than they love Arnold Schwarzenegger. She is the most popular person on any set. They fucking love her. She's like a member of the crew. She's
And she went to
tougher.
school in Stockton, man.
Well, did she?
Yeah, we got like a little like plaque for her downtown, man.
Well, really?
Yeah.
Why did she go to school in Stockton?
I'm not sure. I think maybe with UOP or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, she's
balls. She will fucking mix it up with the crew. Fucking, she's like, hey, guys, whoop. Like, she fucking grabbed their, it's not appropriate now because of the Me Too, but of course they loved it. But she is fucking one of the best solid. I mean, she worked harder than everybody. There's no I need a break for her. There's
yeah.
no I'm afraid to dangle from that.
Oh, she's a legend.
No,
man.
she's like,
A
I have to
legend.
do that. And,
yeah.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger and me are like, wait a minute, where's our chair? Good Lord. But she really is the real deal.
Oh, yeah.
She also is funny. She added stuff to, when she was being sexy, that fucking throwing that water
she
in
was
her hair.
hilarious.
Who
dude.
does that? Who's able to be that sexy, that tough, to be that creative?
And be dorky at the same time.
That's
like
right.
That. The way she pulled it off was perfect.
That's right. The way she stumbled, and that was a real accidental stumble. And then, who that? And then when the bridge blows up, and I remember they were like the 7 Mile Bridge, and they built another bridge alongside of it so we could blow the old one up. We waited again 3 days, and Arnold's like, "You better be on time at work," because I go, "I'm not fucking working. Why do I have to be on time?" He goes, "Because the one day you're not on time, that's when they'll Jim will ask." Anyway, it was a good life lesson because it happened. It happened, of course. But they blow the bridge up. I'm like, they're blowing the bridge up. Do you want to go watch? I'm like, I'll listen. It's just as good. I hear 3, 2, 1, and then I hear fuck, and it didn't blow up right.
Wow.
And they're like, we have to rebuild that. So they had to rebuild. So I go, I'm going back to the hotel.
How fucking long?
Because
Because
they're going to rebuild that and then blow it up again. Because that's how Jim
Jesus.
Cameron was. It didn't blow up right. It blew up sort of. It wigged out. They have miniatures, of course.
Yeah.
But I make miniatures like this. No, they're miniatures like the size of this house. But the real one didn't blow up. It blew up weird. It was supposed to go like straight down, and so they rebuilt it so that slab would. So that took about 3-4 days. Like,
that takes a while.
So people work hard on that shit.
Man,
we were all over North America and many different locations. People work very hard.
It's one of the best movies, man. Another person you got to work with on that movie that really means a lot to me is Bill Paxton.
Oh, it
man.
means a lot to me.
Tell me, that's one of the gods right there, man.
Yeah.
Let me know, like, what he was like. I know you guys didn't have a lot of scenes, as much as the whole movie, but, like, with your time spent with them, that's you got to be a part of the Jim Cameron, fucking Bill Paxton, and Arnold Schwarzenegger trifecta, man. That's a big deal.
Well, I knew Jim besides that movie. Jim was close to Jim Cameron, and so Bill goes back to day one with Jim Cameron.
Terminator, man.
They bet, but even before
Aliens, all that stuff.
So they came out here together. I don't know if they worked for. I want to say Russ Meyer, but it's not Russ Meyer. But they started as crew members. They worked distressing sets and building sets. That's what they came out here to do before anyone directed.
Yeah,
these guys go way back. So they had a great history, as true friends. And Arnold and I are close, and so Arnold and I. I can make fun of Arnold. Bill loved me making fun of Arnold, and and so I love making Bill laugh. And Bill and I were friends throughout his life, and we had many other we had other projects we were trying to do, and other things we were trying to do, and we stayed friends until the end of his life. And he was a hilarious, sweet man. He loved making movies. He fucking. Excited about it. He's excited about this.
It is so good, man. He is just dripping with the fucking with the it factor just off of him. And you know what I mean? Like he just has that presence, and the charisma is ridiculous, man. Yeah, I don't know if you knew, but like I think one of his children or something was like a big underground hip hop fan, and like Bill Paxton used to take his son to a lot of these like underground rap shows where like my friends would perform, and they would be performing and they'll have no idea, and fucking Bill Paxton would just show up and they'd be like, "What the fuck?" And like, my son is a huge fucking fan of you guys, and he would constantly like show love to like the underground rappers. Like it was pretty crazy.
Well, that's great. Well, he should. He was a good dad. I mean, his kids at his. Memorial, he was, he loved. I mean, that's what really it's about. That's what it's about for me.
I agree.
His good dad, his kids. You can just tell by when you see his kids and see his family. You go, okay, that guy. He loved movies. But he loved his family. He put a lot of work into both, and it's fun to do that. To go with your kid. I mean, my son's 6, but I hope my son loves that stuff. So I can go and fucking.
I just found that so cool, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to my guy Poison Pen, man. They came out to a lot of them shows and whatnot, man.
Well, Bill probably was like, I want to be those people on stage. Like that's how people like us think. We're like, he's a musician. He's like, oh my God, my son's into this. I want to do this. Like we're all, Bill, when we were younger, we were into punk, like fucking hardcore.
Hell yeah.
We weren't like, it seems like we liked country music. We like whatever. We were into the hardest part of country music. And that's really where people like us came from. And so when we see our kids that are fucking into this thing, we're like, yeah, maybe we seem like we wouldn't be, but that's absolutely so. I bet it was fucking awesome fun for Bill.
Oh, dude, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet, man. Well, I think we're going to make it to the point. We're getting close to the tail end of this thing. We're going to let you go soon, man. We're going to release you soon.
Where am I going to go? I live here.
Well, we're going to release you from the podcast, man. Well, the next thing we got to do, we have a section in the podcast called the Okwerdz Top 3, where I give each guest a top 3. What is your all-time top 3 on a certain topic?
Okay.
So for you, Tom Arnold, I got a special one for you because you've been in Hollywood for a long time. You've been around a lot of the elite, a lot of people. For you, Tom Arnold, who is your top 3 most cool, genuine people that you have met in Hollywood? Period?
Oh, geez. Boy, this is a tough question. I feel bad. There's a lot of nice, cool people here,
Oh, I
and
bet.
I've been here a long time. And,
Yeah.
I don't want to, I mean, I'm close to Arnold, and when Jax was born, he was the first person at the hospital, and I mean, we have the very long, relationship, and and sometimes it's like brothers, we're different.
Yeah.
We go about the Trump stuff different, although
Yeah,
he's crazy now. Like
he hates
gets
Trump
it.
too, but
Oh yeah, I mean, but
well, you guys have definitely different approaches.
yeah, I mean, there's been, there's been I have, there's quite, geez, I mean, every time I work with somebody, I was, I just worked with Jennifer Tilly. I was thinking how
she's very
great
good.
she is.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
How kind of this new actress I worked with, it was just amazing. I just keep this group of, I keep meeting new people that are fantastic, usually women now, who just have been, Jennifer Tilly's funny because in the movie, they said,
she's great.
Can you bring pictures of yourself from 20, 25 years ago out partying? And they'd ask Jennifer to, and they were going to put them together because Jennifer played the wife as if you were young.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Tilly had pictures of us, me and her, from these different events, and we're kissing and we're wrestling and we're doing all this crazy shit together. Because we've always been fun together. We're at charity events like for animals and shit, and we're wrestling or we're kissing. Like we've always had that thing where no matter who we were with or whatever, we see each other, we're like, let's, because there's something about Jennifer Tilly. You want to be with her. Like she is fun and beautiful and fun. And you will wrestle her or kiss her or hug her or love her. She is just the greatest person. So for 20, it's so funny that we're like, she has the page, whatever they wanted us to be in this movie. Pretend that, do you have a picture? We're going to pretend that this couple was close and they were having, 25 years ago. Though there genuinely is from 25 years ago. That's how long and she just pulls him up. It's so fucking, that was one of those rare things. Of course, the movie's so cheap. They're like, oh, we don't want to have to, oh, that's amazing. We don't have to pay for those from Getty Images. So we're going to.
Got to get that watermark removed.
But, there are so many, there are so many genuinely, I mean,
you got Arnold on the list for sure.
Jimmy Kimmel and Baldy. I think of the people that support my, the children's heart camp I have, the Camp del Corazon that will show up and support. And, people come in and out of, my life and my camp stuff. And, I've just seen a lot of grace and a lot of kindness from people and, humanity. And, they come in, they come out, and there's a lot of decent people that also show up for other people when they're down and they're of service to them, when they're struggling. And there's quite a great, network of people. And, I think when you're here a long time, you got to, a guy like George Clooney, he was on the first year of Roseanne. Yeah. So he's a guy
long time ago,
that, the first year, and that was a crazy year, and he was great. And when I see him, we talk about that. And as I see him over the years, you think, well, George Clooney is up here in the food chain, but, what we talk about is that I love what he does when he speaks out, because he does stuff and I really respect him. But it is a smaller, it's a smaller, everybody.
Yeah.
And the people that actually get up and say, I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to have a camp for kids, or I'm going to build a school for special needs kids like I've done, or an abused children's center, or drinking water for everybody. How about that? Or this thing. The people that in this community that do things. Sharon Stone's another one.
I like her.
I love her. She's, she and I've had I love her. She is, man, she is something else. I'll tell you, I'm younger than her, and she is literally one of those beautiful people. When I look at her, I'm like, I have to get a new face. But she is, I know her from, when she passes out sleeping bags to the homeless people in South State, she's like in the back of a truck, like, and she doesn't fuck around with them. She's like, hey, get in line. Like, she's like, I don't know how to describe her, but she is a tough chick. She is I've known her so long. We've had occasionally differences, but I'll tell you what, she's there. She's one of those. She is.
And she's good with
amazing. She's played my wife in a movie. She's done this, but I'll tell you what, because of this, the work that she does outside of there, and again, I've seen her make homeless guys fucking not act a fool. Like, hey, just be cool. Like, these are rough dudes.
Yeah.
If you want to get, I'm giving out the. This is Sharon Stone in the back of a truck at 4 a.m. Like, let's be cool here. Let's do that. Like, I'm like, how the fuck,
man?
Like, this is crazy,
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, just there's a lot of there's a lot of people don't want to get involved. They say, oh, I don't want to, but there's a lot of cool people to get their fucking hands.
That's good, man. It's good to know, man. It's really good to know.
And a lot of people in the music world, that are just, awesome, that have always, done it, and it's a good thing, because now is the time.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's definitely the time right now, man. One more thing I got to get into. I really love the movie 9 Months, man. I got to be honest. I don't know if you expected me to say
I loved it.
But
yes,
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I got to know a couple things real quick about the movie. A, what was it like around Robin Williams, first of all? That's a big point for me.
Always great. Always great. Rob Williams was, he was a guy that during my, not to talk about this all the time, but during my divorce, people, Roseanne's like, you got to pick a side to everybody. She called the heads of every network, like,
damn.
You work with him, and they work with me. Like, but Rob Williams was like, I remember there was a comic relief right after that, and people, and I don't blame him, all the comics, because she's very big, powerful, and Robin Williams made a special effort to be like, dude, but he was always kind. He's always great. He's always, and then to work with him and get to know him personally and spend time at his place and spend that much, we filmed in San Francisco, and then also to know him as a sober man and to know his journey at the end of his life with mental illness and how he did it all sober, and then also to have that disease, the Lewy body disease he had. So he's dealing with three things. He's an alcoholic. He's got that disease and Parkinson's, and he's got a lot on his plate, because you get, and he was sober. And I'll tell you this, but also when you have something with your hard drive in your brain, people are like, oh, I got to pass judgment on that guy. There's a suicide. I could never. Oh, you don't know what the fuck.
Nah, not at
your
all.
hard drive in
Hell
your brain.
nah.
Listen to me. Yeah, that's right. He was wonderful and generous.
He seemed
and
like
kind
it.
and soft-hearted. And I sometimes when you're soft-hearted, to me, it's a bit harder to get sober. He was sober. This is not the case with him, but I noticed with young guys, you have to be a bit of an asshole to get fucking sober. You just, at some point, you gotta go, fuck you. I'm gonna get sober for me. Fuck this. You just gotta dig in and do that for yourself to get over that hump. You gotta say, fuck this. I'm gonna kick this thing in the ass. I'm gonna live. Fuck you. And because, we're all so sensitive. Every addict, every alcoholic, every person, and this world that keeps coming in, boy, that is a recipe to fucking relapse. It's a recipe to die, because this, addiction wants to kill you, and with somebody like Robin Williams, You know, he's so gentle and so okay. He dealt with that, but then he's got Parkinson's. You could, you know, but then this Lewy body thing, which gives you a distorted view. It becomes one too many. And what happens when people commit suicide? I know this from, there was a couple, Chris Cornell, who I knew. Chris Cornell was the funniest fucking dude. He was a part of my group too, and I loved him. But what happens is, and this is something you got to watch out with benzos, with Xanax and Ativan.
Oh yeah.
This is I'll tell you what, that is a strange drug. And
it is.
You know, and you got to watch out for this because it gives you the impression you're playing a bit of a movie in your head. And I think what happened with Chris Cornell, who I loved, is you walk by, you get a little, you take too much of that because he's an addict. He shouldn't have been taking him. But for the grace of God, go I. And you walk by and you see that thing that he stretches with after shows, that thing he works out with, and he's feeling bad. He sees that on his bathroom door. Now, there's a movie that plays in your head, and if you're benzos and you see that thing and it's around your neck and you're strangling yourself, that video just is automatically in your head. And then that time when you see it, you actually end up putting that on your neck and strangling yourself. It just your body goes to it, and that's how you end up dead. It doesn't seem that you're killing yourself. It just is you float over that, and then it happens, and then you end up dead because there's nobody with you. And that's what I think happened to Chris. That's what happens to a lot of people with those benzos. It takes you out of, first of all, obviously with drugs, it makes you not feel the reality of what's going on, but particularly with benzos. My experience with benzos is that. I can tell you that. I was in rehab at the time on Antigua when that happened for benzos. I had been to rehab for alcohol and cocaine. In the 80s, I went for that. Opiates in 2008. I broke my back on PCH out here.
Man.
And then finally for benzos at that time, because I could not, I was taking them to sleep and other things that because my son turned 4 and it reminded me of things happened when I was 4, and that was benzos are fucked up. They're the hardest things to detox off. Don't forget about benzos. And a lot of people when they die of these opiates, so they're taking the pills or whatever or drugs, they're also taking benzos, and you don't hear about that publicly. Beware of benzos and beware, just a heads up in general. I don't take anything. I know I take anything, I die. There is nothing. So just beware of it. I think
absolutely.
I think if a doctor tells somebody, I'm not a doctor, hey, you can take this for your anxiety, this specific thing, you're not an addict, you're treated. I'm not saying that do that. That's what the doctor says compared to whatever kind of psycho trauma you could have. I'm not a doctor, but I'm an addict. So if they say, take this benzo, I'm like, okay, I'll have 8. Okay. So anyway, a heads up on that. And Robin, what happened to him, very sad. I wish I was there for him. But what everybody thinks that commit suicide is, they are 100% certain their family, the people they love, would be better off without them. That it's become 100% sure the world's better off without them. Oh my God, I'm a burden to my family. Oh, this is the only thing I can do. I'm going to do this for my family. This will be relief to my family because I'm a fucking burden. My illness, my everything. Damn it, I got to do this for my family. It's the last thing I can do for them. That's what they know, 100% in their heart. That's why they do it. That, otherwise
terrible,
they wouldn't
man.
do it. Can you imagine that feeling that? If the only thing they can do for their family is to kill themselves. That's what they're feeling. It's awful. That's why hopefully people are not alone when they're in that vulnerable area. But,
Absolutely, man. Man, Robin Williams definitely, I obviously never met him, but what you're saying about him, it all seems true just off, the character you see him in. It just shines through. It seems like he's just a real nice man. You know what I mean? Yeah. The last thing I got to ask about 9 months is who was that poor guy in the dinosaur outfit, man, that you guys
Oh, my God, that guy. Let me tell you something about that guy. So there's Chris Columbus, another great director who directed many good things. Before, and Hugh Grant, we had such fun. And Jodie Cusack.
Oh, yeah.
Right there.
Yeah,
solid
absolutely.
Gold.
Your
Loved
wife.
her. Worked with her a couple times. Amazing. She got hammered at Rob Williams' house and broke his glasses. Which he had people over to his house and his beautiful house, and we sat out for a formal dinner. Jody was hammered and broke his. It was so funny. Anyway, I probably should tell a story. We were in the bathroom. I took her to the bathroom. Like, dude, get your fucking shit together. You're breaking all Rob Williams' glasses. He will kick us out of the house. She is the nicest person who does not do that, Jody Cusack, except on this night. It was so funny. Julianne Moore was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I
class
should have
act.
married. Oh, my God, if I did it. She's the most amazing person. So, the Barney suit. So, Arnie.
Yeah,
so, we
Arnie.
get over there to the store, and, Hugh Grant and I were buddies. We were we were just antsy. And so, the stuntman in the suit, he goes, and so Chris that directs like this. You can hit him anywhere, and the second word, anywhere except in the eye, because the eye is the only thing. That's a piece of metal. Yeah, because it had the thing
moving for the eyebrows,
so
right?
it's padded, except there's one place you can't punch him, is right here. That's a piece of metal over his eye. So, so don't hit him right here. Hit him here. Just don't hit him here. The guy's like, okay, so I put it on. And so we're fighting, so we'll get him into there. Bam! In one place I hit him. That guy drops. I fucking knocked him out. So he gets up. So he gets up there. You got to see that.
Wow.
You know stuff. He's like, cut his eye just completely like that. That horseshoe shape or that.
Yeah.
Open it up. Man, they run in there. I'm like, oh fuck! I'm so sorry. He gets his shit together. They put the glue on it. They're gonna. I'm not going to the hospital. He goes, let's finish shooting. Oh my God,
let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
What a G,
oh my God,
bro. What
it
a
was
G
so
for
bad.
that.
I loved it, but I fucking just one place do not just don't.
Of course.
So then we had the scene in the delivery room with Hugh Grant and Rob Williams were fighting, and there's a scene where I'm supposed to punch Hugh Grant, and he's like, whoa. The stuntmans were walking to the scenes, and then Tom's going to be far enough away, Hugh, that he will not, he's going to swing, and he's like, oh, fuck, no, I don't trust Tom. I don't trust Tom. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are you a pussy? And by now, Julianne Moore's had enough of Hugh Grant. Like, the movie's been going on too long. She's like, what's wrong? Why are you? Tom's not going to hit you. Like, people gagged up on him. I go, dude, I fucking swear to God, that was a mistake. I've done a bunch of action movies. Dude, I'm not going to hit you. Look how far away I am. And so he goes, okay. I go, God damn it, Hugh.
Don't tell me you knocked out Hugh Grant,
then it starts happening. So then the action starts out, and I moved off my mark, and he goes, bam, and I bam, and I hit him right in the fucking face, and he's like, bloody hell! And he just started, and everybody froze. And Julia Miller's like,
I guess he would hit him.
What a wuss. Like, they were so bit. I knew it. He goes, I knew it. But it was so funny because he goes, I go, listen. And I looked down at my mark. I'm this far over it. I go, whoops.
Oh, yeah. A little
God
farther.
Damn it. That's
Well, that's a great movie, man. Well, I think we've reached the end of this thing, man.
Yeah.
I think.
How many hours has this been?
Oh, man, we're going into close to 2 hours, man. This is the longest episode we've ever had, man. But I had to do it, man. You were saying some gold stuff, man. Wow. So we had to let you, man. So here we go, man. Just let the people know where they could find you on social media.
At Tom Arnold on Twitter, and I think the Tom Arnold on Instagram. That's where I do my family, kids stuff. But at Tom Arnold on Twitter.
Yep. Follow me as well.
Yeah,
Okwerdz,
do follow you.
OKWERDZ or Okwerdz 209. We also just started a podcast social media, so that's OTB Podcast 209. I know it's a lot to digest, but really? Everybody stole every fucking name. Oh, Outside the Box is not a new concept. It's not an outside the box concept. But it goes with one of my famous rap lines, so it is what it is. Follow us there. And the last thing before we got to get you out of here, man, you got to sign the magic table, man.
Oh, jeez.
You want to write something, just sign your name, whatever you want to do.
The outside the box lady's name is Octavia. That's a children's outside the box thing. She does that. She got it's a lady that.
There you go.
Look at this magic table.
It's the magic. It's so magic, man.
Just sign it?
Yeah, or write something, whatever you want to do, man. It's on you, man.
Now, is that accent? Is that real?
What?
That thing, wait, what do you do, man?
I just talk, right. Man. I just been around a lot of places, man. Just absorbed a lot of random shit.
You're a good kid.
Hey, I appreciate you, Tom.
You're a really
Arnold,
good
man.
boy.
I really appreciate you.
You got a good thing. You got a good spirit. You come over here, and we, you show people a good time of your show, and you have a good variety of folks. I'm glad you're so successful. You deserve it. You're on TBS.
Hey, man, that really means a lot to
Yeah.
me, man. I really appreciate it coming from you, man.
Well, I mean, be careful out there, though.
Oh, we're going to be very
Stockton.
careful. We're going to be
Stockton,
very
man.
careful, man. We're going to be very careful.
Got a good crew here, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Hey, well, I appreciate you stopping
Thank
by,
you, buddy.
man. Thank you so
Good to
much.
stop by
man.
my house,
Hey,
man. It's
Yes.
good.
I appreciate everyone out there for watching, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching Outside the Box. Bah! We out, man. Hey.